The Heisman Trophy has turned into a quarterback award over the years. With that being said, we've still seen a few non-quarterbacks win it over the last decade, most recently being wide receiver Devontae Smith just a few years ago. Although a quarterback is likely going to win the award once again in 2023, there are some non-quarterbacks who could definitely make a case. Here are 10 non-quarterbacks who I think can win the Heisman Trophy in 2023. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe. It's one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. I'm posting videos every day leading up to the start of the season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. We'll kick off today's video with arguably the best wide receiver in all of college football, Marvin Harrison Jr. We've seen a number of insanely talented wide receivers to come out of Ohio State recently. Although we've seen many first rounders, there's a chance that Marvin Harrison Jr. can be the best of the bunch. In his first season as a starter, Harrison caught 77 passes for 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns last season. His reception and yardage totals are each fourth all-time at Ohio State for a single season, and his touchdown total was tied for second. He was a unanimous All-American in 2022, Ohio State's first unanimous All-American wide receiver. With uncertainty at the quarterback position for the Buckeyes in 2023, Harrison Jr. can really help his case by having a lot of production. It's going to be tough considering he has a teammate who is likely the second best receiver in the country as well. So there's a realistic chance he doesn't even lead the team in all three categories. Still, he's the best wide receiver in all of college football, and he can definitely improve on his already insane numbers from last season. This next one is kind of a split, but I'll jot this one down as Michigan running back. Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards both returned to Michigan after fantastic 2022 seasons. Corum had the better 2022 campaign as he rushed for nearly 1,500 yards with 18 touchdowns. Meanwhile, his teammate Donovan Edwards put together quite the season as well, rushing for 1,000 yards with 7 scores. It'll be tough for one player to really emerge as they'll be eating into each other's carries. However, should an injury occur, the other player will be able to put up insane numbers. Or maybe they can both stay healthy and a guy like Corum can improve on his already crazy numbers from last season. Will Shipley is back for another season at Clemson. He had a fantastic 2022 season, rushing for 1,200 yards with 15 scores. He was also a threat in the receiving game, catching a career-high 38 passes. Shipley became the first player in ACC history to earn first-team all-conference honors at 3 different positions, collecting first-team honors at running back, all-purpose, and specialist categories. He was also a finalist for the Paul Hornung Award given annually to the nation's most versatile player. He was a first-team All-ACC running back and was an all-purpose selection according to the AP. Cade Klubnik could have a great season for the Tigers at quarterback, but Shipley has a chance to provide most of the offense next season on the ground and through the air. Another team with a brand new starting quarterback with some question marks is going to be Penn State. That's where running back Nicholas Singleton comes into play. As a true freshman, he ran for over 1,000 yards with 12 rushing touchdowns last season. He finished second in the Big Ten in yards per carry as he averaged just under 7 yards per attempt. He led the conference in 30 and 40-yard runs while being tied for second in 50-yard runs. Among all freshmen, Singleton led the FBS in yards per carry and was second in all-purpose yardage, third in rushing yardage, and fourth in rushing touchdowns. Although Singleton had a great season last year, he wasn't even the best true freshman running back in the nation. That honor goes to Ole Miss running back Quinn Judkins. In 2022, he rushed for nearly 1,600 yards while averaging 6 yards a carry. He also had 16 rushing scores as well. Judkins led the entire SEC in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. There were 9 games in which he rushed for at least 100 yards and 2 games in which he ran for over 200 yards. You can make the case he's the best running back in all of college football entering the 2023 campaign. Not to mention, I have no clue who's going to be getting snaps at quarterback for Ole Miss. With uncertainty at the position, he has a chance to really help his case if he can post even better numbers next year. We'll shake things up and go to another position. We'll have our lone tight end on this list, and the lone tight end in college football who could actually make a case for the Heisman. Georgia tight end Brock Bowers is the best tight end in all of college football, and he's been the best tight end over the last couple of seasons. Over the last 2 years, he's put up video game numbers at the tight end position. Since the start of 2021, Bowers has caught 119 passes for 1,800 yards and 20 receiving touchdowns. He's also added nearly 200 yards on the ground with 4 rushing scores as well. Bowers is one of the best overall receivers in all of college football. He'll be the top offensive weapon for the Bulldogs in 2023, a team who could very well go undefeated. It's going to be difficult for Bowers to win, as a tight end has never won the award before. We recently saw Kyle Pitts finish 10th in voting in 2020, and he put up numbers that were actually worse than what Bowers put up last year. It'll take a lot, but Bowers can definitely put together the best season we've ever seen from a tight end. I'll get another wide receiver on this list in Texas wideout Xavier Worthy. If Texas has a great season and puts up great numbers, it's tough to see Quinn Ewers not being in the discussion. But what if Worthy's numbers are just too good to ignore? Over the last 2 seasons, he's caught 122 passes for 1,700 yards and 21 touchdowns. If Ewers is able to figure it out, there's not a reason why Worthy can't lead the country in these 3 receiving categories. We'll get another running back on this list in Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen. He had another fantastic season for the Badgers last year, but yet it feels like he flew under the radar. He led the Badgers and was 4th in the Big Ten with nearly 1,300 rushing yards. He reached the 1,000-yard mark for the 2nd straight season, becoming the 5th Badger to run for 1,000 yards as a freshman and a sophomore. He's totaled 15 rushing scores in conference action over the last 2 seasons, tied for the most in the Big Ten over that span. So far during his career, Allen has rushed for over 2,500 yards with 23 total touchdowns. He's the #1 option on offense for the Badgers, so if they can put together a solid campaign and Braylon Allen does what he's done the first 2 years, he could finish with the best numbers among all running backs in college football. We'll switch things up and get our first defensive player on today's list. Seeing a defensive player win this award is more difficult than having these other players win at running back or wide receiver, but there's still hope. Harold Perkins out of LSU is probably the best defensive player in all of college football. As a true freshman, Perkins was named to the All-SEC first team. He had 73 tackles, with 13 coming for loss to go along with 7.5 sacks. He also had an interception, 2 pass breakups, and 4 forced fumbles. Again, it's going to be tough for him to win the award, but if he's a difference maker on defense again and improves on those numbers, he might make history and make a significant push. We'll wrap up today's video with another running back in Trayvion Henderson. I talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. making a case for Ohio State, but don't forget about Henderson as well. You might have forgotten about him last year as injuries cut his season in half. As a true freshman in 2021, he rushed for nearly 1,300 yards with 15 rushing scores. He also caught 27 passes for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. This past season though, he only rushed for 600 yards with 6 scores in 8 games. When he's on the field, he's one of the top running backs in all of college football. It's going to be tough with so many Heisman candidates on this Ohio State team, but maybe the passing game just isn't as dominant as we're expecting, and Trayvion Henderson can make a run at it. Well, those are the 10 non-quarterbacks who I think can make a push for the Heisman in 2023. Who on today's list do you think has the best chance of winning the award this year? Was there a player I didn't include that should have been on this list? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting a video every day leading up to the start of the season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.